In this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on mind-body connections philosophizing, concerning the conducts one engages in doing philosophizing, amongst engaging more meaningfully mind-body connections in philosophizing, as one who is philosophizing engages certain conducts, including writing and or journal writing, meaningful to philosophizing, writing on causations and or meaning in life, as to mean that the only conducts one may engage more appropriately within proactive self-conducted learning and the cultivation of originality to constitute philosophizing mutually exclusively includes the philosophizing into causations and or BADAX, cause effect dynamic associated sounds, amongst meaning in life derived from mind-body connections. Be it one thinks one is philosophizing like the Billy, Rick, Tom, Joe, whom is providing others a so-called philosophy of life, as he has named it, yet lacks any meaningful utterance of thought in terms of communicating causations and or providing explanations for causations, does not concern himself whatsoever with meaning in life, and perhaps even upon being asked thinks it's a ridiculous question and or has no sense of what is meaningful, nor could provide a response into values and why values are meaningful, compared to the individual whom is cultivating the skill of philosophizing into inferences, not necessarily derived within being, yet one infers the derivatives within one's own existence, often within the philosophizing of mind-body connections, and or may derive in some cases within the journaling the inferences one infers derived causations within being in relation to often positive meaning in affect, existing as affects exist within lower order cognition cultivations into higher order cognitions, emotional regulations, allowance for the complexification and or simplification dependent on the thought processes one is engaging to engage philosophizing meaningfully into the causations of X in association to inferences BADAX, cause effect dynamic association. One is meaningfully the conductor whom fill in gaps in meaningful information to creatively problem solve, brainstorming solutions in cultivation of the valued originality within one's thinking, to philosophize into mind-body connections within mind-body connections, inferring certain causations amongst may include fallacies and or biases to arise within mind-body connections to, in some cases, concern the inferences not necessarily into mind-body connections, yet into philosophizing on other subject matters and or topics and or areas of meaningful concern, certain existing fallacies within direct perception, causation, distinct outcomes in terms of one's philosophizing, including certain philosophizings within mind-body connections, is meaningful to address the fallacies and or biases more disproportionate to one's philosophizing, to meaningfully optimize the outcomes of one's philosophizing, concerned with the thesis and or synthesis, more interested in the appropriate thesis and antithesis, synthesizing to produce more meaningful byproducts within the synthesis from the expansions of the residuals and or derivatives retooled within the proactive, subsequent, momentarily, experientially encountered direct perception causations in relation to the treatment one engages within the philosophizing of mind-body connections, appropriately inferring the causations amongst the treatment one receives, the experience of often positive, meaningful emotion, engaging in certain mind-body connection philosophizings amongst the intermissions of philosophizing, as philosophizing is a conduct engaging self-care and proactive self-care, meaningful to optimize healthy psychological functioning, domain specific, to often the meaningful pursuit within one's philosophizing one is meaningfully cultivating. That's all I want to say for this video. I hope you have an awesome one. Keep looking at this after that.